What's up, guys? Welcome back to episode 5. I can't believe we made it. Nice. 5 episodes in. Am I getting any viewers yet? How many views do I have? Are you watching this in the future? So as you guys know, we're going on this journey where we're going to do a podcast, trying to do one every 2-3 days without promoting it. If you want to know the full story, the full backstory, go back to episode 1 of Gene Isis. Man, this is going to be a good one because there's a lot to cover. So if you were watching last episode, talked about how I basically vacation proposed to my wife. I basically gave her a gift of another gift. So, which was some plane tickets to San Diego, which we both had never been to. So, back from the trip, it was great. It was okay. It could have been better. And we're going to talk about all of it and why. So let's not even pussyfoot around here. Let's get into this. So our plane was supposed to leave at, I think, 5:10 p.m. And it's been a while since I've been on a plane, actually. I haven't been on a plane in about, what was the last place I went on a plane? That's a good question. I want to say New York. I didn't, so my time preferences and, my idea of how early I need to be for a plane, you can already tell where this is going. You can already see where it's going. My time, as far as like, how early do we need to be there? I can't really remember. I really underestimated it. So we got there, the plane was supposed to leave at 5:10. We got there at like 4:43. Something like that. And for some reason, I was really, now let's see where it says. So we get there. Let me set it up. So we get there to the airport. This is a very small airport that we are leaving out of. So there's no line. There's nobody in TSA. There's nobody. It's the end of the day. It's like we should be able to just walk straight through. And that was part of what I expected. So that's why I wasn't really rushing. Now, when we were on the way there, I was like, okay, we need to hurry up. As we got closer, I'm like, we need to hurry up. Time started to speed up a little bit. But we got there. Parking took us a few seconds. It really came down to this had to come down to the seconds, because what this lady said to me, bro, was like, I never felt such anger, frustration, in those situations where there's nothing you can do about it. Airports are really good for that because they're planes. It's like you can't set a plane to come back down. There's nothing you can do. So I don't have my flight number on hand, because I'm thinking I'm going to just walk up to it and put my name in. Name didn't work. And still really no sense of urgency. I'm like, yeah, we're good. I didn't think anything of it. Because it's not even 5 yet. In my mind, I'm thinking, oh, as long as we on the plane, as long as we're there by 5:10, we're good. And that's how I thought it usually was. So I get to the counter, I say, can you just print out my ticket? And she's like, yeah, sure. What flight are you getting on? And we're supposed to go to Dallas first. And I told her, and she's like, oh no, you're too late. That's literally how she said it. No, not a care, not a motherfuck, bro. Not a care at all, yo. Didn't care at all. And it really was like, what? Like, sure, we can make it. It doesn't lead to 510. You see what I'm saying? Like, to me, there's no one in TSA. There's no one in front of us here. I should just give you my bags, and it's a small airport. It's probably the terminal is probably like right around the corner. It's like no reason why. Man, I was so heated, yo. She's like, well, I can't even remember. I basically blacked out, bro. I can't even remember. So basically, we had to get there. We really what she told us in hindsight, I'm like, yeah, we were still good. Cause she said boarding starts, I want to say she said 45 minutes before, and they closed the door 15 minutes before. And I'm like, well, we just got here. It's 4:45. It's like, by this point, it's like 4:50. Cause I walk off and I start walking to other airports saying, yo, is there any way I can get to San Diego? And they're all saying no. And I come back and it's like 4:50. I'm like, well, we got here at 4:45. So the plane leave at 5:10. So we still are inside of that 15 minutes. And she's like, she gives me the, yeah, no, yeah, no, yeah, no. She gave me one of those. She said there was no way for the bags. She said it came down to the bags. Being that the bags had to be put on their belt and rolled down there, it wouldn't have, they had already closed it off for the bags or something like that. So that kind of made sense. I'm like, okay, but still, it seems like and this is what really pissed us both off. She calls for the plane and they don't answer and she hangs up. She probably doesn't ring like one time from what I remember. She calls, she's like, and hangs up. And then they call her right back. And she's like, oh, I was just calling to see, you guys are leaving, right? Blah, blah. And she said, yeah, okay. And she hung up. And I'm like, yo, like she just didn't try, man. She just didn't try at all, yo. Like just really didn't care, yo. Like, man, like even thinking about like some people, yo. I'm gonna say something right here that's I'm probably gonna regret. And I'm gonna try and word this very carefully, but so you can kind of understand where I'm coming from with this. But you know how people be shooting up places? It's a little dark, but you know how that happens? How you're like, why would somebody do that? I see why. Some people just don't deserve to live. It's just, I mean, no compassion, no care, not wondering what happened to make us a little bit late. I felt like she could have probably called the plane and said, hey, we got your fucking first class passengers here. Row A ass seats. You want to open the hatch back up? You know what I'm saying? Like, damn, they'll be there in 5 minutes, 10 minutes before the plane will take off. Like, come on, man. So by this time, she's looking, nope, nothing. Nope, there's nothing. The earliest I can get you out is tomorrow evening. I'm like, what yo, I done booked a whole full ass skyscraper hotel for not even that many nights, just the weekend. And you telling me I'm gonna miss the whole day? The whole Saturday? So She gives us a number to call, and we call this number, and I get a black woman. Now, I know because I've hit the horn. I hit the horn. And that might sound, it did sound scary when she answered the phone. I'm like, oh, fuck, here we go. But she was way nicer. So what this lady had the genius idea for us to do is to drive a city over, which it's like a hour and 30 minutes away. And it was worth it. Instead of waiting until the full next day, what we could do is we could drive to the next city over and catch a flight there in the morning. So what we did is we left there, got to the city over at maybe like 8. So it might have been around 6 by the time we finally got down there. Well, left. So we got down there about 8, and we basically was like, let's party. Once we realized what the game plan was, that's when things like, well, it's like, all right, so now we get another little vacation. We get another little side mission. So we went down to this place. It's Charleston. We went to Charleston and got there, went to one of our favorite restaurants. Food was good, was drinking, but we was beat. And then we were thinking, being that our flight left in the morning at, I want to say 6 or something like that. We definitely didn't want to be late. So he wanted to get to the airport like an hour and some change before the plane. Like I got to remember that. You got to be there an hour before at minimum. If you're not an hour before, you're going to be getting on the plane by a hair. So we wanted to be like an hour early. So I had an idea. So do we stay up and party? Do we sleep in the car? Which one do we do? If we stay up and party and we try to go out and drink till like 3 and then head to the airport, we're going to be really tired if we don't sleep on the plane. And looking in hindsight of what's about to happen, the rest of the story, I'm so glad we didn't do that. So what we did is we ate, and then we started looking for a hotel. Here's the next thing. Looking for a hotel, looking for somewhere to stay. We just want somewhere to lay our heads down. We don't need to live lavish here yet. We've done Charleston. We know what it's like. We just want to lay our heads down inside of somewhere in a bed, clean, and wake up and not be late. So we started looking on my phone, looking for hotels. First place I looked at was like a Holiday Inn Express or something like that. It was pretty cheap. It was like $89 a night. I was like, okay, that's something that's like buying dinner again. That's like dinner again. Okay, let's do that. Booking.com. Go on there, book the room. Get there to the parking lot. Here's the first scenario. There's a girl, just wild, like white girl. She's like one of them black white girls, and she's like in her car, boom, boom, driving all fast to the parking lot, looking for a parking spot. And we just calmly pulling up in our 2022 BMW X6 M version. It's calmly pulling up. And I see a parking spot, like, all right, I'm about to back into this. And she stops, and she gets out. She's like, she's doing like this, and I'm just like, I'm just ignoring her. Cause I'm like, I'm about to get this spot, obviously. I'm right here. There's no way you're gonna get this spot. Cause I had pulled forward to back in. And I guess she was like, are you about to back in this spot? I'm like, you about to find out. So I ignore her and start backing in. And I say, see, this is why you don't start stuff. I'm thinking to myself, I'm not gonna start nothing in the parking lot of somewhere I'm about to go into. It's common sense. You don't want to start something in the parking lot. So she's like yelling and screaming. And we park and we walk right in. Now, when we walk in and tell the lady or the girl about our room, she's like, well, did you do this with us or through the booking another third party? I'm like, oh shit. Third party. She's like, yeah, no, yeah, no. You should always check before you book with those third parties because they'll keep book rooms and we don't even have. I'm like, yo, what in the hell, man? They didn't have any room. So we say, all right, let's sit down right here and look for a hotel. So I'm on my phone scrolling looking for a hotel. In comes the girl from the parking lot. Here she comes, right? I'm like, I'm not smiling, I'm smiling inside. I'm like, hey, yeah, this is what you wanted, right? You didn't think about this. You're a subpar human being as far as IQ level goes. Because anyone with common sense knows you don't start an argument in a parking lot of a place that you're both going into. You do that when you're leaving, when you're not gonna see each other again. Because now we gotta have this awkward moment where we're both in here together and I didn't do anything wrong. You're the one that was raising all that hell. I just parked in the parking spot. I didn't give her the finger. I just act like I didn't see her. That was a smart thing to do. Act like I didn't see her. Just, I'm parking. She's fucking flipping out. She comes in and she's obviously like cracked. She's obviously like coked up, hairled up, cracked up or something. Cause she's like, she's talking out fast. She's like, oh, and I just wanted to check, see if y'all had, she looked at us. She's like, oh, I just wanted to see if, I was just asking if y'all wanted that park spot. Cause I've been driving around down, people doing some crazy stuff. And she just tried to make it like a little funny moment. And I'm like, yeah, good one. Good way to turn it around. She changed that shit up so quick. I'm just so crazy. I just be getting so mad. I'm like, yeah. Shut up and go suck the dick in the bedroom, bitch. Yeah, prostitute. Shut up. What are you here for? You live here? So, scrolling on the phone, look for a new hotel. And come across one that's like right across the street. It's fucking Red Roof. God, Red Roof Hotel. Oh my goodness. They got rooms. I called first. They're like, yeah, they got rooms. It's about the same price. Go and check in. Walk to the check in. You know, the check in is like at the corner of the building. It's like a little closet. This the one with the outside doors. And the doors is outside the building. My grandma always told me, don't never stay at no motel. That's when the door's on the outside. Get you the doors on the inside. So it's an outside doored motel. And walk in, like the hoodest chick. She got like a gold tooth. She literally had a gold tooth, bro. And then another girl walked in that worked there. She walked in with her full-blown newborn baby, bro. Holding her baby. The baby was like 6 months old. Hey, and walked into the back. You got some keys? I asked her something crazy. We finally check in through there. I kind of got a scare for a second because she asked for something, a deposit or something. It's like, okay. Get the room. We walk in. She's like, my wife's like, lock the door. I'm like, wait till we get to the room before they lock the door. We don't want everybody to know whose car is ours. If we hit the alarm now, they're gonna know that's our car. You know, you gotta be street smart. We had to change the whole mentality. You know, she's from Poland. She don't know stuff like that. So we get into the room. Man, it smells like a 90-year-old lives in it. A 90-year-old woman lives there. Sheets got little black specks on them. It's just dirty. Just like, I mean, I'm pretty with it, but my wife slept. She slept in her clothes. I didn't. I slept in my underwear, but I didn't really. I didn't sleep on top because I know the not the mattress, but the comforter is like the dirtiest thing I hear. So I slept under. But I slept horribly. I slept really uncomfortably. But woke up 4 a.m. So the flight must have been at like 6. And drove to the airport. And everything's going smooth. I don't really remember too much from the airport at Charleston. I know we're going to Philly. Oh, but this is when I realized how bad my seats were cut. So the woman, when I changed my flight, she said, you're not going to be in first class anymore to the flight from Philly or the flight to San Diego. And I'm just like, okay, I just want to get there. But your flight returning is going to be the same. So keep in mind, we got to fly back. And I still haven't even went and got my car. My car's still in Charleston. I didn't fly back to Charleston anyway. So, I'm like, okay, so when we checking in, I'm like, okay. I'm thinking about the row. I'm like, man, this shit was like the first flight to Philadelphia was cool. We had a small plane. It was like a little private jet, 1 row seats. And we sat in the front. There was hardly nobody on there. That one was cool. It just was a little bit cold in the plane, but we had leg room. It was a short flight. But from Philly to San Diego, that's when I was like, hold on. This shit says like 32E for my seat. I'm like, when I'm getting, I'm like, this must be the back of the plane. And we walked in and we literally was sat the last seats. I never sat the last seats on the back. And I'm going back there. And as I'm looking at the numbers, I'm saying, okay, 31, 32. And I get to 32, I'm like, oh, it's 3 seats right there. It looks like there's not many people behind me. We're probably gonna have some good seats here. And as soon as I thought that, this fat dude appeared in the aisle seat. He just appeared out of nowhere. I'm like, whoa, and he was smiling. Like, gotcha. He was smiling at me. He wasn't fat, but big just because he watched this one day. He wasn't fat, but he was pretty big. And I'm like, all right, of course, I'm going to have this, it's all good. At least we on the plane. We going to San Diego. We're going to get there at noon. So it's going to be like, because if we would have made the initial flight to San Diego, we would have got there at like 12 that night. So we would have went straight to bed anyway and woke up. And so we're going to get there and experience it almost the same. But we're going to have less time to soak it in. We didn't get to soak it in that night. So I'm still pretty positive about it. So we get in our seats, and the first thing I noticed was there's only one armrest. That left armrest for me, I had to share it with him. This is a big dude. Now, where he gonna put his arms at? He gotta put his arm on the armrest. So he's kind of got his arm up front, and I kind of put mine behind his,
Pause.
So I'm sitting on the plane, and we take off, and everything's good, but he pulled out the blindfold for sleeping. It's like, okay, cool. He gonna be asleep. Now I don't have to worry about him looking over my shoulder, looking at me on my phone, looking at what I'm doing. Cool. Because I had some sports cards. I wanted to scan them and see how much that worth. I was going to do that on the plane. It's going to be something I did while I was on the plane. No one looking at, you're sports or whatever. So, by the way, the cars aren't worth shit. We'll talk about that too. So he falls asleep like that. And the first thing, I think he was asleep before we even took off, actually. I'm just sitting here. Wife's got the window seat. I'm in the middle. And I'm looking out the window, and all of a sudden, I hear. I'm like, man, no way. No way. No way doesn't. Not only is he taking up all the seat, he snores too, yo. No way. No way. So he starts snoring. And it isn't like a constant snore. What happened? He'd be sitting there, he'd have his head back, and then he'd be sitting there like this. And then his mouth would start to drop. And when his mouth would open up, that would somehow like trigger his snore. So every time his mouth opened up, he would do that and just scare the shit out of you. Yo. Like, what the fuck? Everybody would just jump and turn around. But like 4 or 5 hours in, we done got used to it. And not only that, his legs would he started to relax his legs and they just start opening up. And then they be and land on mine and be pushing up against mine. And I'm like, yo, no way. So I'm sitting there, this dude is just basically deboing me. And I'm like, nah, I'm not about to let this dude debo me. So like I push up against his leg to wake him up. I push back against it and he'd wake up and kind of straighten his legs up. And then his arm would fall asleep and he'd take over the whole arm rest. This was like 3 or 4 hours in the flight. He kind of, his arm like fell asleep and he started to take over the whole arm rest. And I deboed him for the arm. And he took his blindfold off and was like, what? And you know, you can't hardly hear on the plane. I said, let me get some arm room. He's like, what? I said, let me get some arm room. What? Let me get some arm room. And I said it, and he's like, oh, all right. He moved his arms back. And then he went back to sleep. And then I started smelling, he started getting that morning breath from sleeping. His mouth would fall open and the draft of his breath would just be coming in, hitting me in the face. I'm like, man, this is the worst flight I ever been on, yo. Worst, that was the worst. And it was in the back of the plane on a 6-hour flight. Oh man. So we finally got to San Diego. Like noon. And it's like noon there is like 3 or 4 o'clock for us. So we went downstairs, got something to eat. And then we go, so San Diego was beautiful. I mean, flying in to San Diego, coming down, looking at the houses on the cliff. I mean, it's beautiful. Every house has a view. It's beautiful. Like every house in San Diego looks like they have a view, a nice, beautiful view. I'm like, whoa, this place is beautiful. Get to the room. We got the bay view sites. So we got the boats in the water. We got cruise ships. We got people downstairs walking around. Music, it's just live. So we go downstairs to get something to eat. I'm like, yo, let's get something to eat. I'm like looking at it, I'm like, yo, if this is basically, we went to sleep and we woke up and now it's noon and we're here. You know, that's about how it would have went anyway. Except we might have soaked it in a little bit more that night before. We might have sit down and looked out the window a little bit longer. And we probably wouldn't have needed to do that next morning. So we kind of lost a little bit of time. But so I'm like, let's go downstairs, get something to eat. There's a little restaurant. We can see it right there, playing music. It's a little taco place. And we go look at the price. Man, the price is, God damn. I'm in the South. Everything's still cheap here. Like gas is $3.78 here. It's $5.78 in California. And one thing about California in San Diego, man, everybody's driving a Tesla. I'm like, yo, everybody's driving a Tesla. And then I look at the gas price. I'm like, oh, that's why everybody's driving a Tesla. Every car, like, Tesla was like the Ford. Like, every car that I saw, like, every other car that I would see was a Tesla. So, go downstairs, get some food. I ordered the chicken tacos. She ordered the fish tacos. Sat down. And, that shit was disgusting. Disgusting. I couldn't believe it. I'm like, man, this is going to be amazing. $15 for 2 tacos. This is going to be fire. It was like $50. She got 3 tacos because she got to order 2 and an extra one. And she always do something like that. And then I got me 2 and some fries. And that was $49.50 or something. I'm like, damn. Who the fuck can survive? I'm like, glad I'm rich. God damn, who can survive off this? So anyway, but sit down and it was disgusting. It was like frozen chicken. And the dudes were, I'm like, yo, the experience of San Diego is like, it's like a little heaven. Like everybody's so nice. Nobody has an attitude. Everybody's happy to see you. Like people are like generally happy to see you. Hey, how you doing? How you doing? Hey. Like down south, they're like, hey, how you doing? They speak, but it don't feel like Anchorman is a good example. Like they are really like that. They are really San Diego. Everything's great. Everything's perfect here. Dynamite. The dude at the window. Hey guys. Yeah. What do you guys want? Cool. You want that? All right. Excellent. Anything else? Like they can't believe that you're here. Wow. I'm like, man, this is gonna be bomb. If the food is anything like a customer service, it's about to be bomb. No, shit was trash. Even she said her codfish was trash, and she's pretty picky, but yeah, it was trash. So I'm like, okay. And I said, okay, that's what it is. There's gotta be some catch. I said it must be the food. So after we eat, now while we eating, here come the Hebrew Israelites. It's some Hebrew Israelites. And you don't know who Hebrew Israelites is. They're like conscious black dudes, right? And these niggas is, it's like, this is where it kind of went downhill quick. They like talking. Now my wife's Polish, so she's white. So people mixed couples walking by. Look at this man. He with a white devil. See, he don't care about the white devil. He wanna da 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 da. And I'm like, and they just keep walking, and everybody's pretty much ignoring them. But it's getting under my skin because I'm not from there, so I had like a different mentality. Like I'm more aggressive, right? Everybody just letting them trash talk them and talk shit. And I'm like, so I have to get the bright idea. I say, yo, I look at her, I say, yo, what if I just walked over there and smeared this taco right all over his shirt? And she must not have thought I was serious because she just kind of giggled it off. But I really was gonna do that shit. I was gonna wait till he said something about me being with a white woman, and I was gonna smear that shit all over his shirt and walk off. Do you think I did it? Leave a comment. Do you think I did it? I'll give you a second to think about it. Do you think I did it? Do you think I'm that gutter? Sensational.
We'll do it live. Fuck it. Do it live.
So, get up and walk past. And I kind of walk by with a little smirk on my face, just waiting for a motherfucker to say, just waiting for him. I'm waiting for somebody to say something, please. And they don't really say nothing to me. But what he does say, and it must have been my dreads, but he was like, because I'm kind of light skinned, he's like, you consider yourself? Man, I basically blacked out, bro. I can't even remember how this shit happened. But he was like, do you consider yourself a black man or something like that? And I said, oh. And I turned to watch instead, and then I stood right in his face. I got so close to his face. I'm like, what's up? I'm in your world now. What's up? You got me. I'm different. Hi, I'm different than everybody else. I'm different. I'm gonna walk up to you and confront you about what you just said. And I'm standing on their posters. I'm like standing on their shit. They got their posters on there. I'm just standing on top of them shits. And it's just a long story short, but I was heated, bro. He's like, so they was like, who are you? And I was like, I'm God, nigga, who are you? Like, yeah, I'm God, I'm a God too. Yeah. See, I want to teach you something. I was like, no, I already know everything. Oh, he think he know everything. All right. Do he know that this motherfucker, that you know, you coming here with an evil eye? I'm like, y'all out here messing with people. Y'all fucking with people, trying to get them to get reactions. Here you go. Here's your reaction. But basically, it was way worse than that, though. My wife was like pulling me on me. I snatched her microphone. About through they standing there filming with a camera phone. About pick. He's like, nah, man, nope. I about to pick that shit up and throw it in the water. I was heated, bro. I was like, they was like, we out here for the Hispanics and the blacks. I said, okay, what about her? Pointing to my wife. And he didn't want to say that. He's like, we out here for the Hispanics. No, but what about her? And then I finally walk off. And then I walk off, they start talking shit. See, that's an effeminate man. That's an effeminate man. He let his woman leave. I'm like, okay, turn back around, come back. I'm like, man, all y'all some bitches, basically. Something along those lines. All y'all some bitches. Y'all two right here, y'all cool, but these two right here, y'all some bitches. And they standing there like, you know, stay in the spirit. No, don't fuck, don't stay in the spirit, stay in the spirit. Cause they don't want to fight. I'm like, y'all some bitches. And then it was two of them that I could really sense was like, cause they don't know me. They don't know what I'm on. You know, I already know all the shit y'all I already know all that shit. And it comes back to, none of the shit matter. It don't matter. You can go through all that Hebrew Israelite, peace God, you go all the way around. Shit don't matter. The only thing that matters is you. And the you in this story is me. So all this shit don't matter to me. What matters is what's going on in my world. That's how everybody should be. So anyway, once I walked off, I actually was so embarrassed because I was doing that shit for her and everybody else that was like, they was offending. Like girls walking by, they calling them whores and shit because they just out with some clothes on, you know what I'm saying? They ain't covered themselves. Like, man, I feel you, but come on, man. You think that's gonna help? You know, and mixed couples walking by, they talking, start saying that the girl is the devil. It's like, come on, man. Maybe she is, but shit. Man, let's just live, man. You got one life. As far as we know, we got one life to live, man. But that shit really brought my energy down for like a good hour. After that, went to the bar and drank, got pretty tipsy. And went back to the room. Now, I think we should have went and partied somewhere that I can't remember what we did. We didn't really do anything actually that first night. Yeah. And then we woke up the next day. That was her birthday. We went hiking. The hiking was nice. Oh man. And so I'm on Twitter and somebody says, yo, why you in Cali, go to Cannabiotics or something like that. And that's the dispensary. Now, you guys know I've been like 2 months sober on the weed, you know. But I'm like, you know what? I want to try edible. I don't want to smoke. I want to get an edible. I'm like, I said, I can just walk in there and buy some shit. He's like, yeah. I'm like, what the fuck? So I go Google dispensaries before I say, I want to take a gummy before I go hiking. So we get to this place. Driving through San Diego is beautiful too. Like, it's very nice, man. The mixture of palm trees, desert sand, and green trees and hills is just beautiful, man. Like, I'm considering moving there. It's beautiful. I didn't really have too many problems with San Diego while I was there. So we get to the dispensary, walk in. There's the guard there. He checks us, pats us down, make sure we don't have any weapons or anything. Takes our ID, and that's when I was like, "Oh shit, are we not supposed to be in here?" No, you come on in. Go ahead. The line's right there. I'm like, "Oh shit." He's like, walk up to this black dude. The teller is, I should have took pictures, man. This black dude, motherfucker looked like Travis Scott, bro. It was literally Travis Scott, bro. Had the hair and everything. And he's like, what's up, you guys been here before? Can I take your order? And I'm like, nah, I ain't never been here before, bro. I'm from South Carolina. He's like, all right, so it's so awkward. This shit was so awkward because it's like, you know why I'm here. I want to get high. That's all that this place is for. Because it was I went to a recreational one. Because I didn't want to be on no bullshit. I didn't want to walk in there like I'm sick or anything. He's like, what you looking for? I said, gummies. He's like, gummies? Gummies? All right. Gummies? He's like, so you want to be, what kind of setting you going to be in? I was like, I'm going hiking. He's like, so you want to be a little bit energetic, kind of laid back? I'm like, man, this is getting, this is getting kind of weird, bro. I want to be, I told him I didn't want to have a really mental high, right? But I don't want to fall asleep. So he went and got the hybrids. And he brought back a bunch of different gummies. And he's like, pick one. I'm like, man, they all gummies. They all probably taste decent. I just picked up the smallest bag. Now I bought them. It's like $10 for a bag, which is crazy cheap. And so I get in the car and I say, what I'm not going to do is I'm not going to eat a full gummy. That's where people fuck up. I'm not going to eat a full gummy. And so I bit half of one. And I said, that's my wife, so you want to take, and she bit half of my half. That shit was so fucking adorable. She bit half of the half. And we driving. Get to the park and, beautiful scenery, start hiking. And you know what? Started hiking. I started feeling a little energetic. I started feeling good. I was like, oh shit, I think I did a good thing. But I didn't really feel anything. If anything, I just felt good. I felt happy. I felt energetic. And climbed the top of the mountain, got to the top, climbed down. Really no beefs. We got into a little bit of a beef because she slipped and fell. Now, before she slipped and fell, oh man, we got to the top of the mountain first. Now, there's this running joke. Well, not joke. There's this thing about me and girls in public. Like, I don't know if I'm just incredibly handsome, sensational, or what, but like girls just make it extremely difficult for me to exist. You know what I'm saying? When I'm in public with my wife, like they do things like they're always looking at me. They're always like checking me. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, they're always checking me. Like I'll be walking, looking at people. You somewhere, you hold your head up, you see people's faces. Most people aren't looking at you, and I'll be scanning, just looking, and then I'll see a woman just staring me black in the face like this. I'm like, yo, what the fuck? And I don't want. And then my luck, Paulina always catches me randomly making eye contact with another woman, right? So anyway, we get to the top of the mountain. It's this group of like 5 guys, like Hispanic guys, and like a mixed Hispanic woman, right? And she's leading them. She's the one that cares more. And she gets to the top of the mountain. She's like, all right, guys, we got to the top of the mountain at the same time. They came from this side, we came from this side. We got to the top at the same time. Me and my wife, we just stood there and took it in. We didn't take pictures or nothing. And, because we ain't really like that, we just soaked it in. We took pictures, but we went like, take a picture of me. But she got to the top, she was like, take a picture. And she was like, no, put it in 0.5. I'm like, damn, she's saying the settings and she really cared about that shit. That was the first thing on her mind. And I'm kind of smiling about that shit. And then the dude was like, can you take a picture of us? And I was like, I should say no. I'm like, nah, I should just say that shit. And I was like, sure. Yeah, I took a picture of him, gave him a couple different angles. He wanted me to hold it upright. They gave him the full San Diego experience. San Diego making you be nice. Makes you be nicer than you would normally be. And then he's like, you want to take a picture of you too? I'm like, yeah. So the group switched sides. We stand in front of the rock. And all the guys they're all in a line. All 5 guys and the girl. And the girl had a dog on her back. She had like the dog in a pouch on her back. The boyfriend starts taking pictures of us. She turns around and bends over, dog. Like intentionally. She turns around, bends over, like straight over, like mooning us with spandex on. You can see straight through it. And I'm like, I even pointed, you can see in the picture. I pointed, I'm like, yo, look at her. She bending over where her boyfriend back turned. And my wife didn't see me pointing at her. But I was trying to point out to her like, yo, this girl is basically mooning us. Why is she bent over I'm like, I'm looking back, I'm like, was I high? I couldn't. It wasn't because I was high, yo, because I wasn't high. But she literally like bent over. I pointed. I was like, yo, in the picture. And we get down, I was like, yo, did you see that? And she's like, see what? I was like, you didn't see it. Now I'm about to look like a creep. You didn't see that girl bend over and basically moon us? She was like, no, I wasn't looking at her. I'm like, oh my God. I wasn't looking at her. Were you looking at her? Yeah, she was looking at her. I pointed at her so you could see her. So anyway, and then we started coming down and the mountain's kind of steep. I said, you want me to hold your hand? She's like, no, I don't need it. So all right. So I get ahead and I'm walking and she slips and falls. And I'm like, and she's kind of like getting sad, a little bit crying a little. I'm like, yo, I actually want me to. She's like, you're walking so fast. I'm like, oh my God. So had to reset. And then I let her walk in front. And then we finally made it back. It was a long walk back. The walk back is harder. Get back to the car. And I'm like, yo, I didn't really feel anything up that half. Cause I thought I said I was feeling better, more energetic, but I didn't feel like I was high. And this is where I fucked up. So I said, cause it say 60 to 90 minutes. We was hiking for it was like a 3-hour hike. So that shit's gone. So I took one when we got in the car. Drove back, got to the room, and still didn't really feel anything. I felt a little bit high, and I said, yo, all right, so let's I'm gonna take, I don't feel nothing, but I probably will feel something by the time we go out tonight. I'm gonna be partying and I'm gonna be, that was the jar cut, I'm gonna be, I thought I was gonna be, you know what I'm saying, I'm gonna keep on taking them and just get, but what happened is I took one and I didn't feel anything, but as soon as I took one in the car, drove back to about 30 minutes drive back. I didn't feel anything after 30 minutes of sitting there. I said, it's been about 60 minutes. I still don't feel anything. Took another one. Big, 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 maybe one of the biggest mistakes I've ever done when it comes to weed. Biggest mistake. Because as soon as I took that second one, I felt it. I was like, oh shit. I was like, oh shit, I'm already feeling the second one. The first whole one, I was already feeling it. And so I'm sitting there like, okay, just keep calm. You ain't gonna, you be all right, man. Because I start tripping when I get high, man. And she starts getting ready. And I think she was kind of high too, because did I give her another half? I can't remember. But she was like taking forever to get ready. And I'm sitting there, I'm like, okay, yo. I started getting kind of claustrophobic when I'm like, I want to be out in the streets and walk around and be out. But man, that second one, I started tripping balls, especially after interacting with those Hebrew Israelites. I started feeling bad because they were talking about how I turned against them, like I was turning against my brothers, and it started getting really, really deep. And I'm like, oh shit, because they walked up as soon as we sat down to eat. He walked up with the thing with the smoke coming out of it. I'm like, yo. And already, I'm a spiritual person, so I'm like, oh, they just walked up. They just pulled up for me. That's why they walked. That's why they came here. That's why they're here. They're here. This is why the flight was delayed. All that stuff started happening. I started making sense. Like, oh, that's why the flight was delayed. The flight was delayed so I could be down here, right here, in this moment to beef with these dudes and see how it turns out. So I'm thinking about all that shit while I'm high. I'm like, this the whole reason for the trip. Now, my wife was wearing off-white. Man, it's crazy. I always say, it's crazy. My computer cut off when I said that. I was like, I thought I had lost that whole recording, yo. So it's crazy. It's always crazy how when I smoke, the things that are obviously not true when I'm sober are so what is the word? Undeniably true when I'm high, things that are obviously not true. Obviously, that's not what this is about. It's very obvious. And that's why I quit smoking, is because it's like, it fucks with me. So my wife ordered some food. She ordered some something from the bar downstairs, some food from the bar. And I'm telling her, I had already been telling her before I had really got started tripping that she was gonna go down there and get it because I didn't want nothing. So you gonna go down there and get it. She wanna make me go down there and get it. We was laughing about that. And man, I'm almost embarrassed to talk about like what I was tripping on. But she had on off-white, right? And the shirt said off right here. And I have this thing where if you've been tripping, you can relate though. Where I'm the only thing. We are one. You hear that term, we are one. So if we are one, there is no two. Everybody's the same person. So that means that it's just me. If we are one, then I'm the one. Because I'm the only eyes that can look out, right? So I have this thing that I start having these panic attacks where I'm like, okay, this is where I'm about to die. And, you know, nobody ever dies off weed, but it feels like, oh shit. Like, here's the thing. This is what it feels like. It feels like all since I started smoking, my grandma has told me to stop smoking weed. She always be like, she don't really tell me to stop, but she's like, you need to stop smoking weed. Stop smoking weed. Just stop. Because I tell her about how I be tripping and stuff. And she always seems like disappointed, right? And I'll be thinking, what if that is the story of my life, is that I couldn't stop smoking, so now you have to die. That's basically what it is. It's gave you plenty of times to not smoke, not get high, and you keep on falling into that trap, right? And that's where the panicking starts. It's like, oh shit, I bit the apple. You know what I'm saying? I bit the apple or I ate the apple from Adam and Eve. It's like I did that thing that I'm not supposed to do. I can't stop doing it, right? So she's standing there folding some clothes, and I'm hearing like music rumbling, and I'm like, man, are those spirits? It's like, it's crazy, like thinking about it. It's like, it's obviously somebody upstairs, but in my mind, like I'm hearing like running around, and it sounds like somebody's like running past me. Like it's like a horror movie, yo. And she had this off-white shirt on. It said off right here. And it felt like she was doing some ritual on me, yo. Like she was like folding. She started to look, think people, I'm looking at, I had an interaction with the Hebrew Israelites, and they already on some white man's the devil, you know, maybe it's like some robotic type beings or something like that, right? So she starts like, she's like folding her clothes, and she's like doing it, and she looks like a robot while she's doing it. And she was like, are you high yet? And she's like, I'm like, oh fuck. And she kept on asking me that shit too, man. She kept asking me, all right, do you feel it? Do you feel it? I'm like, man, stop asking me that. You're making me think about it. And she just wouldn't drop it. And I got really thirsty, and I needed some water. And that's always the saving grace me. I'm like, water. I need the water. That's what. So I'm like, okay, water. And I go get a bottle of water. And I know it's just like 4 bottles of water left. And she has like all 3 of them. And I thought turned into this, oh shit. She's basically she's trying to kill me. She's trying to keep all the water from me. So I got all the water bottles. I started drinking the water bottles, and she damn says something, and I'm like, I can't even describe it, but it's like I'm running out of water. I'm gonna run it. It's like they gotta get me. It's like they gotta get me they gotta get me high and away from water, because I get dehydrated because I don't have any water in me. So they gotta get me high and get the water away from me, and that'll be the off. It was like this shit is so fucking silly, but if you've been tripping, you know what I'm talking about. Like everything becomes real. The off really was set like she was trying to program me to turn off. You know what I'm saying? And I started drinking the water. And I said, give me this water. No. And it seemed like she was trying to keep all the waters. She's like, why can't I have this one? And it was like, she was like kind of, keep in mind, she's probably laughing at me. But for me, from my perspective, it's like, she's like, like, you fucked up, didn't you? She's like, what do you need the water for? It was so creepy, man. So then I calmed down a little bit and we go downstairs and then I started chilling. And after that, that was the peak right there, the water. And I opened the door to go in the hallway. Oh man, this is crazy. I opened the door to go into the hallway and I didn't have my key on me because I was like about to run from her, yo. I was about to run downstairs and do something. And I go into the hallway and the hallway looks like, you know how they say when you die, you go down this long hallway with all these doors. I said, oh fuck. And I turned around and I opened the door and I said, oh fuck. And she said, are you forgetting something? I said, oh fuck. And I jumped and dove back for the door to keep it open. Cause I'm thinking, oh shit, I don't have the key. I'm about to close the door and I'm gonna have to go through another, you know what I'm saying? It's so fucking crazy when you think about it. But how all that shit can it can make sense. Like every little thing makes sense. It's like, oh shit, this is the hallway. I'm in the hallway right now. And she said I was barefoot too. I didn't even know I was barefoot. She said I was barefoot without any shoes on. That's why she jumped and was like, where are you going? That's why she said, where are you going like that? Because I didn't have any shoes on. But when she said it, it sounded like, where are you going? It's just crazy, man. So, yeah. Definitely, I also thought the gummies I thought it would be like a more chill, but no, that shit was mental too. I don't like the mental highs. I like the body when I'm just chilling. But yeah, I'm done with the weed, man. I keep on trying to like, maybe if I do a little bit, I'll be good, but I can't do a little bit because I'm like, oh, that wasn't enough. Let me do a little bit more. And then I was like, even the next day, I said, all right, I'm gonna just take one on the plane. Nope. Fucking high as fuck on the plane, bro. Scared as shit. Plane taking off. First, I took one. Like, before we even left for the airport, I took one. Cause I said, so maybe one. I said one will probably have me. I can notice it, and I'm chilling. I think there's no way for me, it's either you high or you not high. I think the closest middle ground was me taking that half. That was the best point when I took that half of one. And got on the plane, and man, that shit's taking off. And the takeoff is the scariest part of the flight for me. Taking off, it just sounds like that shit's about to fucking explode, bro. It sounds like it's just gonna fall apart. And then something started whistling, and then my damn wife gonna look at me and say, that doesn't sound good. While the thing was, it was something on it didn't sound good. And she was like, it doesn't sound good. I'm like, yo, is this it? But then we got up in the air but yeah, that night before, we went downstairs and I wanted to go somewhere, but man, I was so tired, yo. I couldn't think of anything. I couldn't drive. She wanted to drive around, but I just was not good to drive, man. Yeah, that's pretty much. Got back. That's pretty much everything that happened. I got some more topics I want to talk about. I want to talk about I kind of want to talk about the things I don't like about traveling. One thing I want to talk about is the boarding plane. When you board in the plane, how off that is. When you board the plane, I don't think first class, even though I like sitting in first class, I don't think first class should be the first ones on the plane. I actually think they should be the last ones on the plane, because what I actually don't like about first class is I don't like sitting there watching everyone get on the plane and me feeling guilty. I hate that guilty feeling of I'm just looking like this, just looking down. Oh my God, I feel horrible sitting in first class. Look at these pathetic people going to the back of the plane. Oh my God, so poor. Yeah, I got money. Sorry. Oops. You didn't know that, did you? Yeah, I'm in first class and you're not. Oops. I don't like that feeling. Because what I noticed is first class gets on the plane first and they get off the plane first. But I don't like sitting on the plane waiting. I would rather get on the plane last, and as soon as I get on the plane takes off. And then when the plane lands, I get off first because I'm close to the door. So it's the same thing. So imagine if we got on the planes in the order that we got off. So imagine group 9 gets on the plane first. They walk all the way to the back and everybody else fills in the front, right? And then the last person to get on the group to get on the plane is first class. And the first class gets on the plane, they take off. So you still have that same, and now you got group 9 who has to wait for everybody else to get on the plane. They watch everybody else get on the plane because they pay the cheapest price. So they got to sit there and wait for everybody to get on the plane. I just think it makes more sense. And then when you get off the plane, who gets off last? Group 9. You got to wait to get off. So I think that's very interesting how boarding the plane is like, it's done right when you're getting off the plane, but getting on the plane, it's like, no, this isn't how it is. You know, that's what I don't like about first class, man, is listening to the stewards. They just talk and talk and talk and talk and talk and talk. They do not shut up. They just talk and talk and talk and talk, man. Yeah. There's some other stuff I want to talk about too. Like the past tense of snow should be snoo. Like, I don't think snowed. Snowed doesn't sound right. I don't think snowed should be a word. I think snoo makes snoo makes way more sense. Yeah, that's about it, man. I just wanted to get that off my chest, man. I hope you guys enjoyed that story. Episode 5 in the books. Let's get ready for episode 6. What am I going to talk about? Who knows? Tune in next time.